Good everyone, welcome to today's video, and today it's a Talisman series flight in the Do-17 Z-2. Now, I got this when I was actually with a subscriber for a couple of flights, and obviously I've pushed it back in the backlog for a bit, and I thought, well, I might as well get it done now. I've noticed there's been a subscriber called... I'll just quickly load up his name. Little Jimmy, and he likes his German bombers, so I know he's gonna like this one. He's been going back through my old videos and commenting quite a bit on the old German bombers, so I hope you're here, pal. I know you appreciate this sort of thing. And yeah, so the Do-17 Z2 was essentially one of the final variants of the Do-17 before obviously the 217 was produced, which is why the nose looks very similar to a 217. Obviously, we have obviously different engines, we have different defensive armament layout, and we also have a different bomb load. Top speed has increased by about 30 miles an hour, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is still quite an achievement to say the Do-17 is quite slow. The bomb load has been changed. The 250s are the same. You can only carry two, but we get 20 50 kilogram bombs. Always nice. Let's just say that. Obviously, defensive armament wise, we have a single 7.92 in the front, like we did in the Do-17 E1. We also have a front gunner with an MG15 as well, with about 375 rounds, as it says there. Pretty good coverage. He might come in handy, because obviously I'm going to put on an expert crew in a moment. Then we've got a gunner who is not actually shown in the actual X-ray. He is sat around about here, and he mans these two machine guns. You've then got this poor sod who looks like he's taking a crap, manning this MG15. Then you've got this guy in the back manning the MG15 that covers over the tail pretty well. So quite good defensive armament on paper, but in theory, you're only going to be hitting a target with maybe one or two machine guns. So it's all fine and dandy having all these machine guns sticking at your bomber, but if you can't hit your target with half of them, or at least a quarter of them, there isn't much point in having that many guns. But obviously, the Germans were trying to improve these bombers to keep them in service for as long as they can, just so they can keep it in service. But obviously, the Do-17 was soon phased out of service as the Dornier 217 bombers came into service, and obviously the Ju-88. So before we begin, I will plonk on a expert crew just to improve our gunners and all that. It'd be 5 precision we want in it. Yes. So we'll dump our points into that, and let's crack on. Obviously, the Do-17 Z2 was added way after the E1 came into the game. I don't remember Spade in this plane. I think it came out not long after I started playing Germany, same with the Ju-88A1, which we covered before in the Talisman series. And to be honest, it isn't actually that bad of a plane. It's just, I don't see why the E1 is at the same BR as this. Well, no, the E1's at 1.3, isn't it? Hold on. No, that's the web browser. 1 second. Yes, it is. I thought so, because the E1 used to be 1.7, but it got downtiered because it was sucking so bad. I mean, look at its repair cost, 75 lions. That gives you an idea, don't it? This one's a bit higher because obviously the defensive armament and all that, but even so. One other point to note, in the Talisman series, there has been obviously another vehicle. I think I've mentioned this before, with the M3 GMC, but whatever. Okay, so 1 hour. We do not need an hour's worth of fuel. I've heard rumors that they apparently want to put in like a fuel slider. I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. but whatever. I'd be more than happy to see that. So let's crack on. Obviously, we're going to drop our bombs first, then maybe go fighter mode. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so looks like we've got a battle rating 2 game? No, 2-3 because there's an E1. No, 2-7, there's a H6. Of course there's a H6. Right, well, we've gotten off to a pretty poor start because we're fully up-tiered, naturally. But I don't mind. So just to show off the defensive coverage, there are very few dead zones that this plane has. Obviously this area over here to the far side of the wing is pretty severe. But one spot you could maybe try is try and gunship someone directly on the side. That'd be quite interesting to give a try at, but it's not really meant to be used as a drive-by sort of plane. If you want to do that, I did it in the Key 67 when I spaded the Otsu? No, it was the Ko. And I fell in love with the Key 67 bombers. I've mentioned the Key 67s before, but I freaking love them. If you've never flown the Key 67s, you won't understand. Right, well, since we've got a large amount of vehicles here, well, not large, we've got a couple of artillery, 2 bombs out, and then I believe there's an AA just there, so we'll drop 2. Sorry, my phone's going off. Not a phone call, luckily, but it's just Facebook as per usual. I've just put it on silent. Oh, anti-aircraft fire. Fun, because anti-aircraft is so balanced in this game at the moment. Out of the planes that I have seen, I would rather go for the B-18 personally, if I was to go fighter mode, which I probably will. Okay, artillery, there was an AH gun, yes, thought so. That's another kill, perfect. Right, well, let's open the bomb bay doors and let's drop the rest. I'm going to leave like a half a second interval between dropping the bombs, just to let you know. There we go. That'll do. That's everything out. Hopefully we'll get some kills. Like I say, I'm not looking for much out of this plane. I know it's not very capable. But, yeah. Oh, anti-aircraft fire just missed us then. Right, there's a P-40. It's Phillips has requested that plane. I need to get around to it. 2, 3, 4. Any more? Any more for any more? 5. Any more? Just hits. Okay, so we got 5. That's not too bad. They're only small bombs you've got to bear in mind, people. They're 50 kilo with 25 kilo of explosive. That's the one thing to take into account here. They're not very big bombs. Okay, so... Oh, that's a P-40F. That is actually the variant I will be flying for its Phillips request, just to point out. He didn't specify which model of P-40. I could be a dick and go for the P-40 tank, but I'm not. I know which one he requests. Because he doesn't request too many tanks. I mean, I could maybe do like a double upload just to say like, yeah, he said this, but I want to do this as well. Because Dave Schilling, I know he had absolute torture spading the P-40 tank. I don't get why though, because like, it's a good tank in my mind. But whatever. Let's see if we can line this poor sod up. Well, we got him to brake at least, that's the good thing. I don't think he would expect a Do-17 bomber to come and have a crack at him, but there's a first time for everything, isn't there? Right. Well, the one thing I've always said about the Does that are pretty good is their elevator authority. This thing loves to swing around. Got a crit on something. Looks like coolant. The lower gunner's having a crack at him at the moment. Right, we've got a P400 there. We can try and bait him for the team. Probably will, because he's coming right up at us. God, this thing turns so bloody well. Like, I'm able to fly this thing like a heavy fighter. That's the thing. It's just so maneuverable. Right, the AI gunner and obviously me controlling this front gun, and we got him. The front gunner that is AI controlled took a pot shot at him. So that's always nice. I don't know about the other P40. I know that I crit him. I don't know which guy it was. Lou Boss. I think this is the guy down here. That looks like him. Is he coming back towards his airfield? Yes, he is. I think he's heading the wrong way. No, he's not heading the wrong way. We'll break off. And we will start making our way towards the airfield. Oh, hang on. Oh, he's over there. Okay, Potes 630. That thing got a buff, and that thing is very, very good. Oh, there's enemy planes attacking ground targets. Looks like he's coming up for a crack at us. Now, he does have very good elevator authority, just like me. But I have speed, he doesn't. And I also have altitude, which is always nice. I bet they've never seen this plane go fighter mode, so they don't know what to expect. That's the funny thing. Right, G50, you can have him. We have got a couple of enemy ground attack aircraft. They've got a Hurricane and a P-40. So, let's see what they're doing. Level 87 and a level 59. They're probably not spading, so... I mean, the P-40 is a P-40E, so maybe he's spading it. I don't know. Spading it to get to the F, I presume? That'd be my presumption, I should really say. What's this guy doing? Are you really just gonna... I can't get a shot because obviously control authority is not great at high speeds. Right, well if there's one thing we can do, it's outrun that plane. We'll start making our way back towards the airfield. The MS-406 is fast, but remember he's just done a turn, so it'll be much harder for him to catch up. He will still catch up, but it'll be a lot harder for him. So it looks like we've got a HE-100, we've got a 112B, G50, and a 109E1. This guy's all over me, so there's not much I can do. Those two, yeah, I thought those two were in a squad. This MS is looking like he wants to go for the HE-100. Had we been in the E model of Do-17, we probably would not be able to outrun this guy. Well, keep him on a behind as long as we could, because otherwise we'd probably be dead at this point. Right, he's just broken off. Looks like he's going to go escort his fighters. What I find funny about this plane is the engine is over here, 109 degrees Celsius, which is just... that doesn't make any sense. I mean, if an engine drops below 100 degrees Celsius, that's when you know you should be concerned. I mean, in a car, it's... most cars run at about 50 to 60, depending on the model and how old it is. But a plane engine running at that sort of temperature? Nah. It just doesn't seem right. I think this plane's got like a really weird thermodynamics model. James the other day... oh, okay. James was like, he thought I meant aerodynamics when I said thermodynamics, but whatever. There's a really weird sound bug, you might be able to hear it, of that HE-100. He's not actually firing his guns. It's a really weird sound bug. It's been happening a while. Is that B-18 chasing that Ju-88? Yep, he is. He's going fighter mode. Let's have a look. Level 6. I don't blame him. That's great. Dogfight the century up there. Right, the HE-100 is repaired. The MS broke off to escort his bombers. Smart move. Looks like Lubos got back to his airfield. Repaired, rearmed, etc, etc. So that's alright. Got a question from Tishno Flo, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. A couple of weeks ago, he asked me if I buy Talismans for this series. I don't. The whole point of the series has been... sorry, my phone was going off then. It's my mum. It's not a phone call, like I said. But I mean, DTT's got the freaking doorbell. I've got my mobile phone, so. But whatever. As I was saying, what was I saying? The whole point of the series is to not buy the talismans, because if it was down to me, I'd buy talismans on things that are actually fun. Like, I like the Do-17, but it's not really a plane that I consider fun. I mean, yeah, we did kill a P400 in it, but looking at this though, the team appears to have completely collapsed. 109 is not really helping. He's too busy fanning around climbing when he doesn't need to. Oh, that explains it. He's stat padding that thing. He's not spading it. He's already spaded it. He's just stat padding. Oh dear. Well, it's quite clear to me, since we only have 2 fighters left, both of which are at a severe altitude and energy disadvantage, except for the 109 isn't, but he's at number 3 to 1. I think the smart move here is to just land and J out. We've done enough for our team. We've done what we can. We just can't fight off a P40, a MS405, and a what was the other one? Potes. That's it. I'll wait for the wheels to lock because, well, they take a while. Are we locked? Yeah, wheels are locked now. Thank God for that. It's not as slow as a Do-217 landing gear, but you get the idea. Okay, well, we're nice and safely landed. Let's return to the hangar, because, well, there's not much we can do. We can't really go fighter mode against an enemy fighter with an altitude advantage. Like I say, not a bad run. 1 air kill on the P400, load of ground targets for the bombs, critted the P40F, but obviously he got back to his base. I think I hit the coolant, if I remember rightly. But Do-17 Z-2, obviously great plane. I do like it. It's just not really something I would consider all that fun. If I was to grind at rank 1 for Germany, and I had a choice of putting a talisman on a plane, it would be the B2 Stuka. And, well, everyone knows that I use that thing as a fighter, so you can sort of understand. But yep, like I say, thank you all for watching today's video on the Do-17 Z2, and I will see you all on the next one.